Hello and welcome everyone. I'm making this video to show you how to build a really budget PC capable of some light gaming with some new and second-hand components. We'll show you in a minute what I got. For the CPU, we're gonna use this i5 5470. I got used for €37, so not bad. We can give it a try. I had it for one of my first budget build. I'm gonna see how it will perform in this one. For the motherboard, I got an Asus Q87ME. Since I needed a motherboard with a 1150 socket, and I got this one used for around, I think, €40. So not bad. Was looking for something with a 4 RAM slot. That's pretty good. And we got 2 USB 0.2, 4 USB. Display port, HDMI, VGA, and gigabit cable connection. So we're gonna see how this one will do with our 4570. And since we have a maximum RAM capacity of 1600 megahertz, I got this 8GB kit, so it's 2 sticks of 4 GB of memory, and it's not a lot, but I guess it's okay for this build. And this one is new. I bought for one of my previous builds, and we're gonna reuse it in this one. And for the graphics card, not much options here. I wanted to go with a 1050 Ti, but wanted to stay on a budget, and I'm using a second-hand MSI 750 Ti. This is used. I paid €45 for it. It's not amazing, but we can see what we can get out of it. For the storage, I went with 120 gigabytes SSD SATA 2.5 for the installation of Windows. And we're gonna pair it with a 500 gigabytes hard drive disk. It's not great, but I got this one with a second-hand computer I got, so I'm not using it, and we will just throw it in for storage of games. So we will use the 120 gigabytes one for the system, and we use this one as storage for game. And we will power it up with a PS unit, Thermaltake TR2S 500 watts. It's not the perfect one, but we were on a budget, so this is not bad. 500 gigabytes is more than enough for this system. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And since I wanted a nice wrapping for this system, I bought this Aerocool Trinity Mini Micro-ATX. Since the motherboard we're using, it's a Micro-ATX. There's a fan installed already. I think we have room for a couple more if we want. I'll show you in details once we get started. Okay, so first thing first, we're gonna need to install our CPU. We will remove the socket protection, and we will install the 4570 in this socket. Okay, that is done. We can close this, and CPU is done. We will now need to set a little bit of thermal compound on on the CPU before we install the stock fan. So we're gonna set some compound. And we're gonna install our stock fan. We're gonna install it like this so that we will be able to connect the fan cable on it. Okay, I had some issues with the installation of the CPU fan and this clip system fan, which I'm not really a fan of, but yeah, we'll see. It should be okay now. Okay, so all 4 screws are fixed now. So now we can proceed with the installation of the RAM sticks, and we are going to run 8 GB of RAMs in dual channel. So we're going to use channel 2 and 4. We will align it. One is done, and we will go ahead with the second one. Okay, so the CPU is officially mounted on the motherboard. We have our RAM installed, so we can proceed and start putting it into our case. So as you can see, I already put it in the power supply. I didn't screw it in yet because I'm still doing some cable management preparation so that we don't get too messy once we start building this. And I'm starting to routing the cables of the case. So we have the front panel case here, cable here, Bluetooth 3.0 cable, and the audio and USB cable. And I'm just checking on the motherboard, and so the USB one can go through the same route as the front panel, and for the audio the same for audio. So our motherboard has 6 screws, so we're gonna need 6 standoff, and I believe they are already in the right position, so it should be fine. I already, as you can see, through the CPU power connector over here, because you know the space here is not too big, so we might get into too little space once we mount and screw the motherboard. Okay, let's go ahead. So first thing first, I need to install the IO shield. So checking the layout of the motherboard, this is the right position. So let's give it another try, shall we? Okay. Let's give it another try. See if we can take it to work. Okay, that should do it. So now we are gonna take the screws and we are mounting it. Okay, so what I was thinking to do is to start connecting the cable for the USB front panel. We're gonna connect the audio cable. So USB cable and audio cable are connected, and we can also connect the fan cable, the front panel cable. So we're gonna get the reset, the LED, which goes this way. We can do this now, so we won't have to do it later on, because we don't have much space. So then we're gonna connect the power LED like this. It's a bit easier now, so we won't have to do it later, because we don't have much space in this case. So this one is done. Then we need the power cable, and so this one is the power cable. We're gonna get it here. And we're gonna get the reset cable right down. Wait, might do it the other way around. So we're gonna, and then we're doing this one. Okay. So these ones are in place, and we can try and mount it now. So we started mounting the screwing the motherboard to the case. So far we screwed 2 of them, not too much, we just want to make sure everything is fine. And just to mention that we just connected the audio cable, the USB cable, and the front panel cable already, as well as the USB, so that, you know, it looks a little bit cleaner at the moment, and we don't have to do it once we screw the motherboard in, which might be a little bit trickier. So we keep screwing the motherboard to the fan, this one here, just setting them in, and then we can just double check that all of them are firm enough into the case. Just so you know, this is the first one I'm doing on camera, so I might be a little bit nervous about it. So I hope that I'm not breaking anything in front of the camera. That wouldn't look too good, would it? So just to talk about the project, basically this RAM kit, I had it already. The CPU, I had it already, and I had them, you know, laying around. so I thought, why not get them back to life and put them into another build. So I got the motherboard second-hand on eBay, I think for around 30-40 euro. And the case, I bought it new. I was looking for something new, nice, and I came across this one by Aerocool, which had a fan installed as a glass panel on the side. I think it's glass, I don't think it's plastic, so it was really good. And I think I paid for this one 40 euro, and it's a Micro-ATX, because I wanted to do like a compact system. So far looks good, so I think we might be able to, you know, fit everything in here. We'll see how that goes. So I mounted 2, 4, 5, 6, all the 6 screws to the fan. I'll just give them another twist just to make sure they are well fixed. So far we installed the motherboard, the RAM, the cable, front panel connection. So now we can start moving into the PSU, which I haven't screwed yet. So we can start now routing some of the cables and see how that goes. Okay, so really important, just to mention that the graphics card that we're gonna use today doesn't need any power connection. It will draw the power from the motherboard directly. So it's not really powerful, but it's nice because we won't have any other cables laying around. So I think we have all the cables already around this moment. So I'm gonna screw the PS unit now. So the power supply, and so again I'll just start putting them, and then we will screw them stronger just to make sure everything is fixed and in place. Yeah. So we're gonna use, we got 6 screws in the case, but we're just gonna use 4 of them. So you see, I'm just gonna use 4 of them. And then we need the last one. And then we can switch to the storage SSD and hard drive. Oh, no, I can do it. Okay, okay. Okay, let's give them another twist. Just make sure everything is firm and in place. I wanted to get like something colorful for this system, but I don't know, I think I will keep it minimal. Okay, so this is done. We can start connecting some of the cables to the motherboard. We're here again. We are now connecting the 24 pin cable to the motherboard. There's a little bit of bending, so just make sure it's in place. Okay, well, that bending I didn't like it. So going to do the same. The other way around. Sorry. What am I doing? Okay. Man, there's a lot of bending. I don't like it. Okay, so this one is done. And this one is done. So we can pull some of the cable we don't need. Oh, it's pretty clean. Not too much of a mess. Okay, we're gonna unscrew these two screws now to get the hard drive caddy and mount our the 2.5 SSD for Windows and the 3.5 hard drive for. Oh, that's tight. Everything is tight. Okay, so this one is now done. We can switch to the massive HDD. Okay, so we got the screws for the big one. I think we can just start from this side. Might be better just to get it aligned, you know. My good old problems. I cannot align things. Okay, that's something. We'll get another one here. Oh. Okay, that's good. So we can do the same on this side now. So first one here. Am I shaking? I'm shaking. Okay, amazing. Amazing. So this side is done. We can add another screw here. Yeah, we have another one. You can give it another twist just to make sure it's nice and firm. This side is fine. And this side is nice and firm. Nice. Okay, we can slide this right in and we can start connecting it to the power supply and to the motherboard. There's a little bit of jam in here. Okay, perfect. Now we can put this one in again and then we can screw them. This case is small and it's not easy to work with it, but I think once we have it set it up, it looks really nice. Really like it. This is something I've never done. Okay, so this is done now. We have the HDD and SSD mounted and we can start connecting them to the power supply. Can I mount a cable? Turns out I can't. Okay, so this one is done for the SSD and we'll do the same for the HDD. We did it. I did it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so power is done. We don't have much space in here, do we? Ooh, that's ugly. Yeah, gonna need to fix this. Okay, so power is done. We can start connecting the cable for the SSD and the HDD. So I've got this two black cable. should be fine. Okay, so this one is done. We will have space, right? I think so. I really hope so. And we can slice this one. Okay. Perfect. And then the second one to the SSD. Okay, okay. And then right here. We're almost done. Actually, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we now have the two SATA cable, so we're gonna get the SSD one, which is this one. We're gonna connect it to SATA 1. Yay! And we're gonna connect the HDD, the one we will use just for storage. Make sure you hold the motherboard a little bit. Okay, we can do these cables a little bit so it doesn't get too ugly. Okay, so it should be fine, should be done. Okay, so what we can do now is start doing some cable management on the back, because I think it looks fine here on the front. There's not too much noise, but let me turn this ugly monster around. You'll see this, which is not great. Okay, so first thing first, there are some cables that we don't need, which are this one. We're not gonna need this one from the power supply, so we can just screw them together. Zip ties, finally zip ties. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, nice. Okay, got the extra cable. Okay, perfect. And we can throw this back in here, because we don't need it. And you see, it's less ugly. We can do this one here. This one. So we have a little bit less mess, I would say. And we can use, in this case it's fine, we just close them. It's the other way around. Yeah. Amazing. Love it. Okay, we can. Not talking to you. Okay. This one is also done. You can cut it. I'm getting excited. We're almost done. Just take them all together. Nice. I'm doing my best here. I'm not really good with this cable management stuff. So it could be worse, you know. Oh. Okay. So I'm not sure, but we can try. Okay. Can actually work. So let's screw this one up here and this one up here. Okay, we're basically done. It looks good enough to me. Okay, it looks better than I expected actually. So quite happy with it. Now we can turn to this. Yeah, these ones right here. We will have to take off 2 of them. Oh, you can bend them with the hands. Just hope that broke. So this one will fit right here. Okay, so the second one is done, and we can take off the second one. So okay, he went in. Okay, perfect. So we can throw this back in. We should actually screw it. And then we can add a couple of screws to, you know, just make this works. Is it too big? No, I think this needs something smaller maybe. Let's try this one. This one look good. No. This might work. Let's stick to these ones. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We can screw them. Okay. This one should do. Okay, it's better now. Okay, so it's basically done. You can throw this one back in. One thing I will do is just screw them in better. Okay. It's not ideal, but it should do. We are basically done. We have everything mounted properly, I believe. So we have our CPU i5 4570 in there, paired with 8GB kit, 1666 MHz, 750. I couldn't get anything better in this cheap budget build. Motherboard, we got one 120GB SSD and 500GB hard drive, hard disk, and GTX 750 Ti, which doesn't require any power connection. So we can try and boot it up and see if it doesn't set on fire. Okay, so you see the system is up and running. So it recognizes the i5 4570, the memory sticks. He recognized the 8 gigs of RAM DDR3-1600 MHz, so 4 gigs each, and then okay. So we set it to normal. You see we can switch it to power saving, optimal for performance, and to normal. For the fans, we can keep them normal, CPU fan, chassis fan, and we can install a second one, but we don't have one at the moment. SATA information, we have the SSD 120GB and the 500 GB HDD. Okay, so I already had the USB stick to install Windows 10, and let's see how that goes. Okay, so we're into the Windows installer setup. I'm just gonna delete everything that is on these partitions for the old drives. So we're gonna get 2 drives, you see. So the HDD drive with 465 gigabytes, and the SSD with 120 gigabytes. We're just gonna go with the SSD because that's the one we want to use for Windows, so that it's quicker. I haven't mounted the glass panel yet, just making sure that everything is working fine, and I will then assemble and put the really nice glass panel on it, and I think it should be complete by then. Just so you know, this build, I think with a mix of second-hand and new components. It was around 300 euro, so not bad, not bad at all. Because again, the case costs around 40 euro. Then we have the i5 4570, which I got used for 40 euro as well, and then the GTX 750 Ti I got for 45 euro. Motherboard as well for under 45 euro. The power supply, I got a second-hand one for less than 40 euro. The kit of RAM was 45 euro, I think. I bought it new. And the SSD we mounted, and where we are installing Windows 10 was around 20 euro. And the HDD I just got it from an old Fujitsu that I bought for experimenting with it. It was my first experiment. It was really nice. Okay, so the Windows installation is going on. Yes, we have one German, skip. We're almost done. I'm super happy. It's gone smooth so far. You know, you always expect something to go wrong, but so far so good. Okay, so I guess it's just thinking a bit to make sure that it recognizes all of the components in it. So as you can see, it recognizes the Intel Core i5 4570. Okay, so it's still, you know, downloading all the drives neat. I hate it. So you see, we're getting the i5 4570 CPU, 3.20 gigahertz, 4 cores. Then we got the 8 gigabytes of memory DDR3, 2 slots used out of 4, so that's nice. So you can get another stick in it. I get to 16 gigabytes, which isn't bad. Then we get the SSD recognized as disk 0 C, and disk 1, which is just empty. We will need to format it and just assign a letter to it. And then disk 2, which is just the USB stick we used for the Windows installation. And then the GTX 750 Ti recognized by the system. So cool. So far so good. I'll go ahead, update the drivers, install NVIDIA GeForce Experience, get the latest drive for GTX 750 Ti, and we can test some games. Hello again everyone. So we are all good with the setup of the machine, although we had a little bit of a problem with the memory stick. So basically install these 2 sticks of memory, which are like 4 gigs of RAM, 1600 megahertz, and as soon as Windows was installed and it started running the updates, I got a blue screen. And since I noticed that I had a similar problem with the same 2 sticks of RAM on another machine, I had to switch with another kit, which is not the same. It's a more basic kit. It's basically 2 sticks of RAM by 2 gigs plus 1 stick of memory of 4 gigs. So the frequency is the same, they are still 1600, but there's one of 4 gigs of RAM and 2 of 2 gigs of RAM, so still good. So as you see, I installed CPU Z on the computer. So its system is recognizing the CPU i5 4570. The mainboard is the Asus Q87ME, and memory, we now have the 8 gigs of RAM DDR3, and then you see so you see the 2 gigs of RAM here on channel 4 and channel 2 DDR3, and we have the 1 kit of 4 gigs of RAM on channel 3. We got the GTX 750 Ti installed. I installed the latest drivers with GeForce Experience, and so far so good. I'm starting to install some games. I'm installing Tomb Raider now. I will try probably Doom, GTA 5, and a couple more games and see how this machine runs.